You know what psychologists find disturbing? When someone feels absolutely nothing on their birthday. Not sadness, not joy, just blank. Most people think it's maturity or indifference. It's not. It's a warning sign your brain has been rewiring itself in the background for months, maybe years. And I'll show you exactly what's happening in the next 20 seconds. Why it matters. Because emotional numbness on personally significant days doesn't stay contained. It bleeds into every major decision, relationship, and moment that's supposed to matter in your life. The pattern. Let me walk you through what's actually happening. 1. Anticipatory shutdown. Your brain learned to kill excitement before it starts. Here's what researchers found. People who feel nothing on their birthdays often experienced repeated disappointment during childhood milestone events. Birthday parties that didn't happen, promises that fell through, celebrations that turned into arguments. So your nervous system developed a defense mechanism. It numbs you preemptively. Imagine a kid who learned that getting excited about their birthday only led to crying in their room by 8 p.m. Now they're 35. Their friends plan a surprise party, and they feel irritated, detached, like they're watching someone else's life. What it does to your brain. The anterior cingulate cortex, your brain's emotional prediction center, starts suppressing dopamine release before meaningful events. You're not broken. You're protected. But protection became prison. The fix. Write down 3 birthdays from your past that hurt. Not to relive them, to recognize the pattern your brain is still defending you against. Because once you see it, you can start to override it. But there's something deeper happening here. 2. Meaning collapse. You stopped believing your existence deserves celebration. This isn't about low self-esteem. It's about existential resignation. Studies on anhedonia show that when people stop feeling joy on personally significant days, they've unconsciously decided their life story isn't worth commemorating. Picture this. Someone works the same job for 7 years, same apartment, same routine. Birthday comes around. They think, celebrate what? Another year of the same nothing? The emptiness isn't about the day. It's about what the day represents. Progress that didn't happen. Dreams that stayed dreams. What it does to your brain. The ventromedial prefrontal cortex, responsible for assigning value and meaning, starts categorizing your life milestones as irrelevant data. Your brain literally deprioritizes moments that should matter. The fix. Ask yourself, what would I need to accomplish this year to actually want my next birthday to come? Then reverse engineer from there. Meaning doesn't appear, you construct it. And here's where it gets worse. 3. Social performance fatigue. You're exhausted from pretending to feel what you're supposed to feel. Psychologists call this emotional labor. But on your birthday, it becomes emotional theater. You smile, say thank you, post the photo. Inside, nothing. Researchers studying emotional suppression found that people who routinely fake emotions on significant days experience what's called authenticity deficit, a growing gap between who you are and who you perform as. Example, your partner plans a whole day. Breakfast in bed, your favorite restaurant, a thoughtful gift. You go through the motions, you say the right things, but you're screaming internally, I don't feel anything, and that makes me a monster. So you perform harder. What it does to your brain. The dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, your brain's executive function center, has to work overtime managing the performance. This creates cognitive fatigue, and cognitive fatigue makes genuine emotion even harder to access. You're literally exhausting yourself out of feeling. The fix. Tell one person the truth. I appreciate this, but I'm feeling really disconnected today. Honesty creates space for real emotion to return. Performance suffocates it. But wait, there's a biological component you need to understand. Reward system burnout. Your dopamine system is fried from overstimulation. Here's what neuroscientists discovered. In the age of constant digital stimulation, your brain's reward threshold keeps rising. Birthdays used to be peak experiences. Now they're competing with infinite scroll, binge watching, gaming, social media hits. Your brain got so used to microdoses of dopamine all day, every day, that a birthday, even with cake and friends, doesn't register as special. Think about it. Someone spends 6 hours a day on their phone. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, hundreds of tiny dopamine spikes. Then their birthday comes. Dinner with friends, real conversation, physical presence. Their brain's like, that's it? Where's the novelty? Where's the instant gratification? What it does to your brain. The nucleus accumbens, your pleasure center, becomes desensitized. You've taught your brain that joy comes in 15-second intervals. Real-life, meaningful experiences can't compete. The fix. 1 week before your birthday, do a dopamine detox. Cut the cheap hits. Let your brain recalibrate. So when the actual day comes, it might actually register as special. And here's where the social dynamics get complicated. 5. Comparative despair. You're mourning the birthday you think you should be having. Social psychologists call this reference group comparison. You see everyone else's birthday celebrations online. The surprise parties, the elaborate trips, the overwhelming love. Then you look at your reality, and you feel inadequate. Example, your coworker posts their birthday, 50+ people at a rooftop party. Your birthday? 3 text messages and your mom's phone call. So you don't feel nothing. You feel shame. And shame masquerades as numbness, because it's easier to feel blank than to feel less than. What it does to your brain. The posterior cingulate cortex, involved in self-referential thinking, starts running constant comparisons. Your brain measures your life against curated highlight reels. You lose every time. The fix. Understand that what you're comparing is your internal experience to someone else's external performance. Their Instagram story isn't their emotional reality. Your numbness might be more honest than their performance. But this connects to something even deeper. 6. Temporal anxiety. Birthdays force you to confront time passing, and your brain hates that. Psychologists studying temporal awareness found that birthdays trigger what they call mortality salience, a sudden, uncomfortable awareness that you're aging and time is finite. For some people, this creates existential dread so uncomfortable that the brain just shuts down. Numbness instead of terror. Picture someone turning 32. They realize, I'm closer to 40 than 20. Half my life might be over. What have I even done? The weight of those thoughts is crushing. So the brain hits the emergency shutoff valve. Feel nothing. Safer that way. What it does to your brain. The amygdala, your fear center, detects the existential threat. The prefrontal cortex suppresses the emotional response. You go numb as a defense against despair. The fix. Name the fear out loud. I'm scared I'm running out of time. I'm afraid I've wasted years. Once you name it, the numbness loosens, because you've acknowledged what you're actually running from. And there's another layer to this. Celebration unworthiness. Deep down, you don't believe you deserve to be celebrated. This is different from low self-esteem. This is about internalized narratives of deservingness. Clinical psychologists see this pattern constantly. People who accomplish incredible things but feel like frauds when anyone tries to celebrate them. Birthdays become particularly uncomfortable because you're being celebrated simply for existing. And somewhere along the way, you learned that existence alone isn't enough. Example: someone graduates with honors, starts a good job, maintains friendships, but they still hear their father's voice. What are you so proud of? You haven't done anything special. Birthday comes. Friends want to celebrate. And internally, they're thinking, for what? I haven't earned this. What it does to your brain. The brain's self-concept network, involving the medial prefrontal cortex, holds a core belief. I am not celebration worthy. So when celebration happens, it creates cognitive dissonance. The brain resolves this by numbing out. Can't feel unworthy if you don't feel anything. The fix. Separate accomplishment from worthiness. You don't have to earn the right to exist. You don't have to justify taking up space. Your birth is the only qualification you need for your birthday to matter. But here's where it gets really uncomfortable. 8. Relationship disillusionment. Your birthday reveals how disconnected you actually are. And that truth is devastating. So your brain protects you by making you feel nothing. Researchers studying social bonds found that birthdays serve as relationship audits, moments when the quality of your connections becomes undeniable. Who remembers? Who shows up? Who tries? For people feeling nothing on their birthday, it's often because the audit results are too painful to feel. Imagine, you have 800 Facebook friends. 12 people wish you happy birthday. 4 of them are people you haven't spoken to in years. The people you thought were close? Silence. Your brain has 2 options. Feel the abandonment or feel nothing. It chooses nothing. What it does to your brain. The social pain network, including the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, activates similarly to physical pain. Emotional numbness is your brain's anesthesia. The fix. Audit your relationships before your birthday does it for you. Invest in the 2 or 3 people who genuinely matter. Stop waiting for the crowd to show up. Quality over quantity isn't a cliché. It's a survival strategy. And this connects to something you probably haven't considered. 9. Developmental freeze. You're stuck in an emotional age younger than your chronological age. Psychologists call this arrested development. Your body gets older. Your brain patterns stay frozen. People who feel nothing on their birthdays often stopped emotionally maturing around the age when birthdays stopped feeling safe or joyful. Example: someone whose parents divorced when they were 10. Their 11th birthday, first one split between houses. Awkward, sad, confusing. Now they're 35. Emotionally, that 10-year-old is still in control on birthdays. And that 10-year-old learned birthdays hurt, so the system shuts down. What it does to your brain. Traumatic or painful memories create what neuroscientists call emotional anchors. Your brain time travels backward when triggered. You're not a 35-year-old feeling nothing. You're a 10-year-old protecting themselves. The fix. Talk to your younger self. Literally. I know birthdays were hard, but I'm safe now. We're safe now. Sounds ridiculous. Works anyway. Because you're updating the operating system that's been running on outdated code. But there's a modern phenomenon making this worse. Digital disconnection. You're so used to virtual existence that physical reality feels flat. Here's what researchers found. People who spend most of their social energy online experience what's called reality dulling. Physical experiences, like birthday gatherings, feel less vivid, less engaging, less real than their digital lives. You've trained your brain that connection happens through screens. So when people show up in person, your brain doesn't know how to process it as meaningful. Picture this. Someone has a thriving Discord community, daily chats, inside jokes, deep conversations. Birthday comes, friends take them out, and they feel distant, disconnected. like they'd rather be home on their computer. Not because they don't care about these people, because their brain categorizes online interaction as real and physical interaction as other. What it does to your brain. The brain's social processing networks, including the superior temporal sulcus, get rewired for digital communication patterns. Face-to-face interaction requires different processing. Your brain hasn't been practicing, so it underperforms, feels dull. The fix. Schedule regular in-person time before your birthday. Recalibrate your brain for physical presence. You can't expect your birthday to feel meaningful if it's the only day all year you're actually present. And here's a pattern almost everyone misses. 11. Success emptiness. You achieved what you thought would make you happy, and you still feel nothing. This is what psychologists call the arrival fallacy. You thought, when I get X, I'll be happy. You got X. The happiness didn't come. So your birthday, a natural moment of reflection, becomes a confrontation with that emptiness. Example. Someone worked for 10 years to make 6 figures. They got there. Birthday hits. They're 38. Successful career, nice apartment, financial security. And they feel hollow because they built their entire identity around achievement, and achievement doesn't fill existential voids. What it does to your brain. The brain's reward system was promised satisfaction. Satisfaction didn't arrive. This creates what neuroscientists call reward prediction error. Your brain expected feeling good. It got emptiness. So it stops expecting anything. Numbness is the result. The fix. Separate accomplishment from fulfillment. Success is external. Fulfillment is internal. If your birthday feels empty despite your success, you built the wrong thing. Now you know. And finally, there's one more pattern you need to understand. 12. Grief displacement. You're not feeling nothing. You're feeling unprocessed grief. And your brain disguises it as numbness. Psychologists studying complicated grief found that people often go numb on personally significant days because those days trigger losses they never fully mourned. Birthdays remind you of people who should be there but aren't. Versions of yourself that died along the way. Futures that never happened. Example. Someone's best friend moved across the country 3 years ago. They used to celebrate birthdays together. Now, a text message. Birthday comes. They feel nothing. But it's not nothing. It's grief masquerading as indifference. Because grief is too heavy to feel. What it does to your brain. The brain stores unprocessed grief in the body. Numbness is the container. The subgenual anterior cingulate cortex, involved in sadness processing, gets suppressed. You can't feel the loss, so you can't feel anything. The fix. Name what you're grieving. I miss who I used to be. I miss who used to be here. I miss what I thought my life would look like. Grief needs acknowledgement. Not solutions, just acknowledgement.